familiar format, the slope-intercept form. Right? We can transfer them back and forth as we see the need or as it suits our desired end goal. Right? Given all of these different formats, we can translate from one line format into another line format. I want to take that same equation and I want to determine the slope in another manner. Right? We figured out the slope was 2/3. I want to figure it out using another more familiar manner. Given this equation, can you tell me 2 solutions for this equation? Let's start with the easiest ones. Let's go for the y-intercept. If I substitute 0 for x, what number must y be to make that statement true? Yes, sir. -6. If I substitute 0 for y, this will give me my x-intercept. I cover that up. What number must x be?
9.
It must be 9. I now have 2 points. I think we already decided earlier it's very easy to find slope given 2 points. 0 minus -6, 9 minus 0. Let's see, 0 minus -6 is 6. 9 minus 0 is 9. 6/9 is exactly the same as 2/3. Same result, entirely different approach to getting from given information to desired information. Given the same equation, find the slope. One time I did it by manipulating algebraically the equation. The other time I said, I'm used to using 2 points to find slope. If I can find 2 solutions, I can just use those 2 solutions, those 2 coordinates, to use my slope equation. Last one. 1/4 x plus 1/2 y equals 12. This is not written in standard form. If you have to peek back up, you can. Why is this one not considered to be standard form based on our earlier notes? Yes. Because of the fractions. I need these to be integer coefficients in order to be considered standard form. I've got fractions of 1/4 and 1/2. Is there a way I can convert these fractions into integer format? I see a hand down in the back. Yes. What could I do?
Could you bracket the whole equation by 4?
I could bracket the entire equation and multiply it by 4. Good suggestion. What is 1/4 x multiplied by 4? 1x. What is 1/2 y multiplied by 4? 2y. What is 12 multiplied by 4? 48. Looks an awful lot like the previous problem right above it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So now that we have a format that we're now becoming familiar with, we got 2 ways to go from here. Either I can take this and manipulate it, isolate the y, or I can try to identify 2 coordinates, use those 2 coordinates to find my slope. Do we have a preference here? Algebra manipulate or 2 coordinates? I hear algebra. All right. Here's my y. I want it isolated. How do I isolate that y? Yes. Subtract the 1x. So 2y equals 48 minus an x. Y is not alone yet. Joy?
Divide both sides by 2.
Divide both sides by 2. Y is equal to 24 minus 1/2 x. Do you now know your slope? What's our slope? -1/2. There's my slope. Started off nasty. Fractions, near standard form. Through some manipulation, we get it to a format that you're comfortable with, and you can spot the pertinent information. Slopes, y-intercepts. Next page. Alright, now you're provided a slope and a point that we would like our line to contain. And I suggest we use slope-intercept form first, and then point-slope form second. Slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Do we know a y value that is usable? 8. Do we know m, a slope that is usable? -2. Do we know an x value that is usable? Plus b, the one thing we don't know. What's -2 times 9? What's the only value for b that will make that statement true? 26. So y equals -2x plus 26. Done and done. We were given two pieces of information. We were able to use them together to produce a product, an equation for a line that we desire. Y equals mx plus b. Now we want to use point-slope form. And today, this may be the very first day in your life that you see point-slope form. So feel free to cheat back to our note sheet on the previous page. It comes in the form y minus y sub 1 equals m, x minus x sub 1. We want to use the same values. I'm going to keep the y, and I'm going to use the y value from my point, e. The slope is -2. I'm going to keep my variable x, and I'm going to use the x value from my provided coordinate. How can I eliminate this set of parentheses here? What operation could I perform here? Okay?
You can do them, so -2 times x and then -2 times -9.
And how much is -2 times -9?
-2x. Oh, sorry. 18.
Plus 18. If I want to isolate the y, what's my last step here? We did distributive property. What do I have left to do? Yeah? Add 8. Y equals -2x plus 26. Should I be surprised that these two equations are exactly the same? No. We just took two different approaches to getting to the same result. Two options. One using a format you're familiar with, one using a format you are going to become familiar with. We got about 5 minutes left. I think we can knock out these last two. I don't think we're going to get to the last page today. Perhaps what we can do is we can pick up next week where we left off today and pick up there before your next unit. All right, last two I think for today. We want to convert these equations